Hello everybody, and thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to show you guys how to change the sway bar on a Mk5 Rabbit. This application also goes for a Jetta, GTI, most likely a Passat. I do not know about the big SUVs, but you can use this as a reference at the very least. Now, for this specific tool, you're going to need a few, specific tools, look at me. Specific job, you're going to need a few tools. You're going to need a number 18 metric wrench. You're also going to need a number 5 Allen wrench, and I will show you why would you need those two, and we'll get right to it. So now we're in this situation where we need to remove this nut, and there's another one back here, right there. That one I may have to get into an angle, of course. From down under, right here, pushing the plastic away, and then I can work on it. So basically, there's two bolts that we need to remove. This one and that one. Now, the main reasons why you will need to change these, if you're watching this video, most likely you'll know why. But just as a reference, if you happen to have poor steering, clunking noise coming from the steering area, or loose steering wheel, most likely you have a bad sway bar. The symptom that I noticed mostly was my sort of loose steering, and I was a little bit concerned about that. I did some work here. I changed the strut recently, and I started noticing after that, so I may have damaged it somehow perhaps, and that's my own personal opinion. But yeah, those are the symptoms you have to look for if you need to change the sway bar. So let's get right to it. Here we go. Put the angle properly. Now, if you look closely, it has a little hole in the middle with little ridges. That's what the Allen wrench has to go into. Actually, no, that is not Allen. My apologies. That actually is a triple square. Let me get the triple square. Alright, I got a number V6. See if I can focus on it. If it says it. This is a triple square. These little suckers right here are kind of hard to find. You can go to several shops. You may not find it. You have to probably purchase them online. So that one goes right in here. Together with the number 18 wrench, you should be able to actually pull it right out. Now mine, since I've worked on it previously, should be fairly easy to remove. Should be kind of loose. We'll find out in a minute. Let me see if it moves. Should be able to move. Yeah, it is moving. Slowly but surely. Okay, I should be able to do it with the wrench. See, it's moving the bolt. Now I want to show you guys a little tip that I use. I use a rubber mallet to loosen up bolts when they're too tight. For example, let's say you got your wrench right here and you need to loosen it this way. Oh, hammer it down until it gets loosened enough. Once you get it loose enough, you should be able to use the wrench to take out the bolt. Like so. Oop, I think I moved the camera angle. There we go. There we go. That one came off. Now the reason why earlier I said about an Allen wrench is because the one that I purchased from Amazon, this one, the brand new one, actually uses an Allen wrench. That's why I got a little confused. So this is the factory one. That one uses a triple square. If you happen to purchase one of these on Amazon, they were about $25 for the pair. They had to use an Allen wrench instead. That's usually where the confusion came from. See if we can have a better look. There it is. See? Allen wrench, triple square. So, now let's see if we can actually get to the bottom one. Okay, now we're gonna tackle the lower one. I want to see how loose it is. If it's loose that I can work it. Oops, I hit the camera. Okay, I was able to get it loose. Again, if for some reason or the other it happens to be very, very hard the first time, I recommend using a rubber mallet, no doubt. You can definitely put the wrench and just start hitting it until it gets loosened up. It's been pretty useful, this tool. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue removing the bolt. Camera is actually loose. My apologies, guys. One second. There you go. Now, as you can see how loose it is right now, should be able to come right off. There we go. And we got the old one in. Now, I want to show you guys something. You see this? That brokenness on it? Dirt gets into it. This little bushings, unfortunately, do break. Like this one, see? They do break over time. And that's where all the dirt and grime gets into it. And you see the little ball inside? When it gets dirt, it starts to wear off. And it won't move properly or start getting clunky and stuff like that. So we're definitely going to change it. Okay, now the procedure is pretty much straightforward to put it back in. We got the new sway bar right here. I'm going to remove the new bolts. Which, by the way, again, you're going to need an Allen wrench for that. I want to get it all tight. We go through the first hole. Make sure you put it over the brake wires, okay? Don't forget that. Okay, I'm going to have to move this bit down so it'll fit right through. Pretty straightforward. There we go. It's brand new, so it's not as loose. It has some tightness to it. You have to keep that in mind. Same thing with this one. Oh, rather tight. I'm thinking I probably should put the bottom one first and then put the top one. That'll perhaps help my case. Let's see. Nope. Gonna have to lower this one too. There we go. Let's see what we accomplish this time. Oh, too low. I think the hardest part now is to get them aligned. That is the hardest part. And I think we achieved that. Good Lord. So, now that they're aligned, we can actually start bolting them on and go further from here. Now that I have the bolts tightened by hand, we can go ahead and start tying them up with the wrenches. And the actually I need the Allen wrench for this one. Not triple square no more. Allen. This is the reason why you will need an Allen wrench and the way they engineer these pieces, because it's a little bit tight on the position that it is in. So you need two tools in order to get it done. Because you cannot get a regular socket number 18 and put it in here and start turning it, because it turns the entire piece. Since that little socket has a ball inside, it is actually made to rotate. So again, this is why they engineer this way. So you can actually hold it in one end and turn it on the other. Engineering at its finest. Now, these may have their own torque specs. But again, the way they're built, in order to get a torque machine here, will be very, very incredibly difficult. So the idea is to get it tightened, the best way you can by hand. All right. Let's see if I can get it out. There we go. It is out. Double check it just to make sure. Oh yeah, it is tight. You don't want this to come loose in any way, shape, or form. Now we'll do the bottom one. Okay, this lower one right here may be somewhat challenging. The way I have the wrenches all set up, the plastic may get in the way. So now, about this car used, it didn't have the splash guard at the bottom, the plastic splash guard, so it's a little bit easier for me to remove, to actually get into it. But if you happen to have all the plastics, you may have to remove the lower splash guard, so keep that in mind. So this one, let's get it tight. The positioning will be somewhat challenging, but not impossible to work. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this until it's tight, okay guys? This part is boring. So I managed to go ahead and put the bolt back in. Now what I ended up doing, to give you guys because you guys may encounter this, I ended up tightening it up all the way in with the wrench part instead of the Allen wrench, because I had the space. I kept turning and turning and turning until I got it tight. Then once I got it tight, I was able to put the Allen wrench in to hold it in place, and then continue to give it a full tightness with the wrench itself on this specific one. The top one I had to use the Allen wrench because of the way it's positioned. This getting in the way and all. But this one you can use the wrench to get it tight. You got enough space. So and there you have it, guys. That's how you change the sway bar. Now, I do appreciate you watching my video, guys. I really appreciate the support. You can use this as a reference. I highly encourage you to, if you're not fully sure what to do, look at other videos, and other cars perhaps have the same setup. So always get yourself informed on what to do. I really encourage that, so that way you can do the job once and do it right without having to go back and have to redo everything. So again, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing.